Hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate, talking about 5 things you should know before you start flipping. I've had pretty much everything in the world happen to me during flipping, good and bad, but these are 5 things, not necessarily the top or the bottom, but 5 things that you should really watch out, especially when you're just getting started in flipping. So if that sounds interesting to you, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and Allie is looking for a new car right now. She's got a well-used Toyota, and she's looking for a newer car. So I told her if she got 1,000 people to sign up for notifications today, I would let her get a new car. I'm not going to buy it for her. I'm just going to let her get it. But anyway, guys, sign up for that. I'd appreciate it. So would she. Today's show is brought to you by Wholesale Academy. Check it out. The link's down below. It is your step-by-step way to get started in wholesaling or just actually being able to buy houses. All right, let's get right into it. All right, 5 things I wish I knew before I started flipping houses. Number 1. Volume is not where it's at. Guys, you don't want to do maximum volume of flips. You want to do quality flips. In other words, you want to do more profitable flips. Don't go out and be the guy that has 16 flips going that are making 20 grand each. Be the guy that has 3 or 4 flips going that are 40 or 50 grand each, or have one going that's 40 or 50 grand. In the beginning, guys, you want to be really, really careful with your time. You think that you can handle more than one. You think you can handle a bunch, but be careful with that. That will bite you and you'll end up losing money on all of them. Be very careful in the beginning to take on only as much as you can do. And make sure that they're quality. Don't go for the volume. That's a mistake. Number 2. Do not start with a major project. My first project, my first house project, now I've done mobile homes before, as you know. My first house project was such a massive endeavor. It took so much longer and cost so much more than I planned. And I'm a contractor. So imagine you doing it with no construction background. Be very careful, guys. The less complicated that first project is, the better off you are. And you're going to say, well, Mark, those are the only kind of flips that are available in my area. I disagree. There are other flips available. And yes, even though I said pick more quality in the beginning in number 1 and don't do the inexpensive ones, maybe you're going to do a less difficult flip in the beginning and make a little less money. I want you to understand how the system works. All right, so before you get knee-deep in contractors and permits and excavating and tearing down walls and doing all kinds of crazy things, I want you to understand the process. So do yourself a favor and start off with something like a prehab. And we talk about prehabs in this video over here, or actually there'll be a link down below. Either way. Number 3, I knew about this, but I didn't fully embrace it for a little while. Private money is absolutely king in this business. If you don't use private money, you should. Here's why. Private money has many more applications in real estate investing than hard money does. It's so much easier once you have a stable of reliable investors that will invest in your projects. Now, what do I mean by that? So when we first started out, we had nobody, right? We started talking to people about investing, and lo and behold, they asked how they could get involved. And we said, well, the only thing we actually need is money. And they were happy to do that. You can do the same thing. But you have to have a story. It didn't just happen like that overnight for us. We actually ended up getting people together that had an interest, and we brought them all together and served them lunch and talked about the opportunity, and that's how we did it. It took time to do it. It took time to cultivate those relationships. And remember, when you're raising private money, you can't just go out there and say, hey, I'm looking for private money. It doesn't work that way. That's illegal. People have to come to you. So how do you do that? I'll just give you one quick tip on that, and then we got to roll. The way you do that is create a story that you can tell people about what you do so that they ask you questions. All right, so they have to ask you questions about what you're doing, and eventually they will ask if they can invest with you if you say the right things. We talk about that a lot in our private money videos. Another link to the side or down below. Allie will put that in. Private money is king. Work on it. Another great thing I like about private money is you generally, almost 100% of the time, will get 100% of the funds that you need. That's great. Hard money, you've got to come up with a minimum of 20%. So if you are just getting started and you don't have a lot of money, but you are a faithful and honest person, you can get 100% of the money up front with private lenders and 100% of the rehab money. All right, let's move on to number 4. So number 4 is everything sells eventually once it gets to the right price. How many houses have I had that I thought were going to sell like that, especially in a seller's market, like late 2021, which is when this video was done. It is a seller's market. You put something on the market and you've got 30 offers in the first hour and people are attacking you saying they'll buy you a car, they'll take you out to dinner, they're doing all kinds of stuff to get houses. What if the market isn't like that? Even right now, I had a house 2 months ago that sat on the market for 2 months. Why is that? It wasn't even the price. It was just low demand in the area for that particular product. I had to find the right buyer, and it took time. And it's going to be like that with some of the houses you do. It could very well be the very first house you do, which is going to scare the crap out of you when you're expecting it to sell really, really fast. You're going to think, oh my God, I got the wrong house. I did this wrong. I did that wrong, and no one's going to want it. Believe me, every house sells. Now, the caveat is, always have a caveat, don't I, Allie? Mm-hmm. Every single video, I use the word caveat. I love that. The caveat is you may have to lower your price. You may have to market it at the price that it was meant to sell for. A lot of times in the beginning, we sell houses for a whole lot more money or try to sell them for a whole lot more money than they're worth because we did so much awesome stuff to it. Guys, you got to be realistic about your pricing. Don't price it higher than everybody else. That's not going to work. You can drive the price up just in a bidding war if the market's hot. If the market's not hot, you've got to price it accordingly. And you may have to wait a little while, but don't freak out, all right? And if you don't understand how that works, talk to different real estate agents in the area and say, hey, look, I'm just asking, if you brought a buyer to this house, what would they pay for it? Get their honest opinion. Most real estate agents are always looking for relationships with flippers because they bring new product to the market. And heck, who knows, maybe they'll get a listing someday. All right, so don't freak out if your house doesn't sell at first. You're not priced right. Number 5. I love this one. I've had this issue before with a house a couple of times as an experienced flipper. Don't fall in love with the damn property, guys. That is the stupidest thing you can do, and I am stupid for having done it a couple of times. You get so caught up into what everybody's saying around you, all the chatter, all the noise is like, oh my gosh, if you just put self-wiping toilets inside this house, it would sell for so much more because people are looking for self-wiping toilets. Guess what, guys? Don't try to overdo it. I see so many people that are, they do old houses and they try to bring it right back to perfection. It's so difficult to do that. It's so expensive to do that, and it eats profits. All right? I'm not saying don't do a good job. I'm saying watch your budget. Don't go above it, and make sure that what you're doing is appropriate for what's on the market at that time. I always look at other houses when we start a project because it may change by the time I buy that house and by the time I fix it and by the time I list it. There might be changes in the neighborhood as to what's selling for what price. So I keep an eye on that all the time. The guys that work with us, I should say, always have to keep an eye on what the comps are doing before, during, and after a project. Why do we do that? Because we're going to price accordingly and we're going to make left and right turns accordingly with our rehab budget and our rehab project, the things that we do at that house. So if I have a certain kind of expensive tile that is the bee's knees and everybody's using it when I start that rehab, you better believe I'm going to check before I go out and buy that tile. When we get to the point where we have to buy it and have it on the job site, I'm going to look at all the rehabs that have been sold in the last week or two, if there are any, and see if they're using the bee's knee tile or if I can get away with cheap Subway tile, right? I'm not going to go spend an extra $1,000 on tile if I don't have to. Falling in love with the project is screw it. I'm going to do it anyway because I want to make a statement. Screw statements, guys. Screw them. You're here to make money, not make a statement. Just a word to the wise, guys. Be careful with what you spend and be careful with what you're doing. It's really important that you make maximum profit on each project. All right? All right, that's my 5 things that I wished I would have known before I started flipping because I made mistakes on every single one of those. Private money thing, not so much of a mistake, but I would have hit that a little bit harder in the beginning had I known how important it was going to be. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you found that helpful. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Let's get Allie that new car and sign up for notifications. And again, this has been brought to you by Wholesale Academy. Guys, if you're looking to get started in buying houses, whether it's for flipping, for buy and hold, or wholesaling, that's what this course does. Exactly what we do in our office to get houses under contract every single day of the week. If you're interested, link below. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, check out these 2 videos. They're really going to help you on your investment journey. I'm also on Instagram. Tons of great video content there. Really good stuff. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time.